reminds us of the importance of the present time, which is the only opportunity we have to take the different and too often fragmented components of our collective past to prepare the foundation for a unified and collective future. The long line of succession of kings in the kingdom known as Benin started in the 12th century by modern reckoning. There may be some different views about the origin of some of our ancestors, but there is unanimity in the shared heritage between the peoples of Benin and Ile-Ife in identifying Oduduwa as a forebear of kingship in many kingdoms in part of Africa called Nigeria today. The historians all agree that Oduduwa sent his son Oromiyan at the request of elders of Benin to return with them as ruler of their realm. Oromiyan's stay in Benin may have been short, but before he left, a child was born to him who was later crowned Òba, and is known today as Eweka the First. Oromiyan's time in Benin, however short-lived, he was an Òba, and so he was the first Òba after the Ogiso dynasty came to an end. He established Òbaship in Benin. By implication, therefore, the listing of past Òbas should therefore begin from Oromiyan, as it is listed in the Gariwa's book. Short history of Benin, actually making my revered father 39th Òba that reigned in Benin, if the listing is counted from and should be counted from Oromiyan. I therefore stand before you today as the 40th Òba of Benin. A direct descendant of Oromiyan, the son of Oduduwa, whom the Benin people of that era knew as a Kaladiran, their self-exiled prince, who later became ruler in Ile-Ife. The Benin people recognize Oduduwa and his origin, but it is not our place to force this recognition on others outside our boundaries. The history of the world is a shared one, and there will certainly be unexpected connections in future. This is thus a time for unity and not divisiveness. A time for mutual respect, recognizing that our wholeness as people is so much more than the sum of our parts. E pluribus unum. Now, what does the new dispensation hold for us? The Òba remains the channel through which the powers of the ancestors continue to guide and protect the kingdom and its people. To that extent, we shall faithfully discharge this sacred responsibility. We shall pay due attention to all members of custom and tradition, focusing on real issues of security of our communities and the welfare and development of our people. We shall carry out reforms in palace administration in order to be adequately responsive to our people's sincere and deep longing for justice, equity, and stability. We shall strive to ensure that conflicts are resolved between individuals, families, and communities along the principles of social justice. We shall use cultural diplomacy as a veritable tool for the promotion of harmonious relationships with our neighbors far and near. I also strongly advise my Benin people to strive to maintain our culture, especially our language, by insisting on its use in communicating with their children and each other. You will agree with me that Benin Empire, which encompassed part of Lagos across to Asaba, even then Dahomey, has now shrunk to within only one state. To survive, it is imperative that we maintain our culture, which is now the only unifying force for our people. Our culture and tradition remains the one main factor that the entire country and international community respects us for. I appeal to our Benin people to uphold and respect our traditional institutions at all times. I implore government also to include Edo language and Benin history in our schools' curriculum. We shall forge links with the other traditional institutions here in Nigeria, in Africa, and beyond. We must especially acknowledge how honored and gratified we are to have in our midst today representatives of monarchs from other parts of the world. The Zulu King in South Africa, the Kabaka of the Kingdom of Bugunda, as well as the Queen of England and the monarchs of Sweden, Denmark, and Norway, are all represented at this event by the ambassadors of their respective countries. I hope this will provide an opportunity to strengthen contacts and build linkages that will complement and enhance excellent bilateral relationships that already exist between our countries. We shall uphold and maintain the principle of neutrality and non-partisanship in political party activities. While our people remain free to play politics by subscribing to any political party of their choice, we shall, however, continue to pray for and will always support the right kind of political leaders who will safeguard the welfare of our people, provide for their basic needs, and who will accord due recognition to traditional institutions.
Òba